Christmas has begun. So yeah, we're hopefully in for a really nice evening. The next 45 minutes or so, we're going to be having a bit of festive fun, and hopefully you'll learn a bit along the way about the wines in your Christmas wrapped up case. So rather than do a not a boring unboxing, you know, we could just get the boxes up and tell you about all the wines, but what we like to do instead of that is have a bit of festive fun. So we're going to have a bit of a competition. So Matt and Ray, you're going to be going head to head, and I'm going to be challenging you to pick the perfect drop for lots of different festive occasions. So I'll be the official indicator, and I'm here to keep you both in check. So I'll explain the rules in a second. But before I do that, it's so lovely to see so much noise in the chat. So please use the chat box. Let us know what you're drinking tonight. Let us know if you've cracked open any of the wines in your Christmas case yet. Please do ask questions. We've got Simon from Naked hopping on in the chat as well, and there's also a Q&A function, so we'll try and leave 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the session, and if you've got any burning festive wine questions, or if there are any wines that we don't cover that you want to learn a bit more about, pop it in there and we'll get round to them at the end. So yeah, so here's how it's going to work. So Ray and Matt, you're going to go head to head. In my trusty notebook here, I've got 5 festive categories which are centered around some of our favorite Christmas occasions, and I'm going to give you each a minute or so to select a wine from your box, and I want you to select the best drop in your opinion for that category, and give a quick pitch on why you think it makes the perfect wine for that occasion. And then at the end of the round, at the end of each round, we're going to have some Panto style audience participation. There will be a box pop up on the screen, a vote box, and you, the audience, can vote for your winning wine guy. And so hopefully at the end we will have a winner. And if I'm remembering correctly, Matt and Ray, you've each won one Christmas each so far, so it's all to play for this evening.
High stakes.
No high stakes. There isn't a prize, but it is our Christmas party on Thursday, so we might get the loser to buy a round of shots or something like that. We'll see. And so that's it. As I said, please use the chat. Please get involved in the Q&A along the way. And without further ado, shall we get straight into it?
Let's go.
Brilliant.
Let's go for it.
The first round is Christmas Eve. So picture the scene. The presents are all wrapped, you've peeled the sprouts, you've tucked the kids in bed, you've left a little tipple out for Santa, and it's time to get a little tipple for yourself. So you're about to pop your feet up and relax ahead of all the festive madness. So what bottle from your big Christmas box are you going to be reaching for on Christmas Eve? And let's kick off with Ray for this one. Or was it Matt? Matt or Ray? Who's meant to be going first there? Did we have
Matt, take it away.
Go on, Matt, take it away.
Doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, thank you, Kate. Right, I'm just going to fantastic box arrived a week ago, and I've been itching to get in. Let's see what I've got in here. Just the thing, I think. Now, I realise I'm a wine guy. We're Naked Wines, but bear with me. For the bottle for Christmas Eve, I have chosen Rambler Mediterranean Gin. So stick with me. Christmas, there are a huge number of opportunities to drink delicious wines with all of your food choices. And we'll come on to that. And I'm sure Ray's got some great suggestions. I've got some even better suggestions. But right now, Christmas Eve in the Smith family household is all about a delicious sharpener on Christmas Eve. For me, for my mind, there's nothing better to get the appetite going and to start the evening off with a classic gin martini. I'm an absolute complete fan of that drink. And this isn't any old gin. This is a gin made by Stefan Lisman. He is a Belgian, but he's been living in Barcelona for donkey's years. And this gin is distilled from the grape skins made from Priorat, a little bit north of Barcelona. So this has got really kind of wine in the blood, really. And this is a wine-based gin. And it's fantastic set of aromatics from the region: figs, juniper, citrus, and it just makes for an absolutely brilliant martini. I don't like my gin martinis too dry. I like to be able to taste the vermouth, use extra dry vermouth. My go-to is 60 mils of gin, 20 mils of vermouth. Mix that up with some ice, not shake, absolutely always stir. Make it as cold as you can, pour it in a frozen cocktail glass, squeeze of lemon, equally good with an olive, both real Mediterranean flavors. That is your absolute start to Christmas. The thing that's going to sharpen your senses, get you in the festive holiday spirit, get that appetite going and really start it off. And if that's a bit strong for you, this also makes an amazing gin and tonic, which will just be pure refreshment. Mix it with Mediterranean tonic, and you just got the best gin and tonic. And again, a wonderful way to start the celebration. So there you go. That's my pitch for Christmas Eve. Rambler Mediterranean gin. Go on, treat yourself.
Oh my goodness. That's going to be... Oh, Ray, we've got a raised hand.
Well, I'm just wondering if the referee, was taking note of time, whether there's a penalty. That was a little bit
too long, too short,
bit longer. Yeah.
So
you'll have to make up the time for us, Ray.
It's going to be a hard one to beat. Do let us know in the chat, guys, if you've cracked open your gin already. I love the sound of that festive martini. Yum. Right, over to you, Ray.
Right. Well, it's Christmas Eve, babe, as Shane McGowan of the Pogue says. And I think perfect is La Orfica. This is from the Danes from Spain, Jonas and David Toftrup. Now, the reason why I would without doubt be drinking this on Christmas Eve is I just know what's in there. It's a kind of a comfort, it's a sort of a security to know it's my little reward after the end of all the chaos, running around, shopping. And if you are anywhere in the British Isles today, you would have seen the absolute deluge of rain and horrendous weather. And just to know that a lick and a taste of southern Spain, just down the road from our friend in Barcelona, as you just mentioned, Matt. So this is from a region called Yecla. It's basically, if you think of Alicante, and then you go inland and you go up a little bit of altitude, not attitude, you need attitude, and you have really ripe black grapes, Monastrell grapes, and it's just a rich and ripe, delicious red wine. And I think knowing that after all the fuss and the fuss and all, if kids to bed or even parents to bed, or even you could drink this in bed yourself, just to know that the work is done and all you have to do now is settle in and watch It's a Wonderful Life and you're all set. That's it. That's my
don't get it on your sheets if you're going to drink it in bed, though.
No.
Hard to get it
hot water. So yeah, lots of love for the gin in the comments. Toby's already had a gin martini. Lisa's loving the gin. Helen, her partner's thinking of cracking open the gin. I think your partner definitely should. Yeah. I also spotted a note from Clive who said he's already put his sprouts on, which, oh my gosh, they're going to be mush come Christmas Day.
Slow cooked sprouts.
Any good sprout recipes, please pop them in the chat because I'm on the lookout. Right. Shall we get the poll up and see who the winner of round one is? Right. Who's going to be our Christmas Eve winner? Is it going to be Matt with the gin or Ray with the La Orfica Monastrell?
I think it's like 97% rated, vote with the numbers, folks.
It's the highest rated red wine on the site.
Is it?
But it's important for you to make your own mind up, though.
Nope. Follow the crowd. Be a sheep. You wouldn't want to stand out.
Victoria says, I don't see why we can't have both gin martini, then wine. I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
I love my own heart.
It will probably end up that way, to be honest. I think the perfect thing about martini is it's the gateway, it's the thing that leads on to things. And then you can enjoy all of your delicious wines with the food as you start to get stuck in for the time.
Right, drum roll. Who's going to... Matt, you've won round one.
Excellent. Good on you, people.
We love a gin.
Glad you're all with me.
Okay.
Right. We've still got another 4 rounds. So it's still all to play for.
Early.
Round one to Matt. So that takes us on to round 2. So round 2, it's the morning after. Hopefully you're not too hungover after drinking one too many of those gin martinis. It's Christmas morning. So maybe, I don't know what time, also, let us know in the chat, what time is an acceptable time? What time do you typically reach for your first drink on Christmas morning? I'm maybe a 9 a.m. girl. Is that bad? Oh, there we are.
That's earlier than you get into the office, Kate.
9 a.m. Oh, 6:50 a.m. Go on, Sam. Love it. So
First drink.
It's Christmas morning. You might be opening your presents. You're getting the turkey ready to put in the oven. Which wine, in your case, are you going to be reaching for to get your Christmas day off to a flying start? And let's start this round with you, Ray.
Well, as I can see some audience participation already suggesting, for me, you have to start the day with bubbles. It has to be bubbles, fizzy bubbles. And to move it from a sort of an 11 a.m. drink to a 9 a.m. drink, you can have a mimosa, 50-50 Prosecco and fresh orange juice, or Bucks Fizz is a bit more the other way, and but either way, just lash some orange juice in there and it completely excuses you. This is from Paolo Sacchetto, who has been with Naked since before I have, so years and years, and he is really a true the king of Prosecco, and it's just perfect. It's not too intrusive, you know, like we have some other great sparkling wines on the site, but this Prosecco, it's light, delicate. It almost sort of doesn't distract you from all the fun that's going on. You just want something bubbly and wet in the background, and I'm not talking about Clive's Brussels sprouts boiling over, but this is just nice, cold and refreshing, and a little splash of fresh orange juice if you want to indulge yourself, and then you really get a nice zest in there. But yeah, it has to be only fizz for breakfast. Over to you, Matthew.
Sold. Right, over to you, Matt.
Great stuff. Right, absolutely agree. In fact, a lot of love for fizz in the chat. I think we're fairly unanimous. It has to be fizz. I'm going with fizz, the fizz option too. Christmas morning, it's one of my favourite bottles of fizz. Depends what time the kids are up. Luckily, my kids are starting to get a little bit older. We're starting to get a little bit more of a line. It's not the eye-watering 4 a.m., 5 a.m. starts anymore, luckily. But I always love a bottle of fizz around about 10:30, 11 a.m., let's call it. So my choice is Benjamin Darno's Vigneron's Wife, Cremant de Bourgogne. So this is named after his wife, Kat, who's a massive Bubbles fan. And he made this in honor of her. And this comes from the region of Burgundy in France. I think Prosecco makes for an excellent morning aperitif, as you just said, Ray. But for me, I'm looking for something a little bit drier, a little bit fuller embodied, and something that has that slightly toasty, biscuity character and elegance. Cremant de Bourgogne, such good value for money compared to champagne, so you get so much more bang for your buck there. It's made in exactly the same way as champagne, with a bit of aging in the bottle to give it extra richness. But the secret spice in Ben's Cremant is a little bit of Gamay. What's Gamay, you may be asking? Well, it's the grape variety in Beaujolais, and a little bit of it made in a white wine style, so taken away from the colour in the skins and put into the blend, just gives the fruit an extra lift of juiciness. So it's delicious and just perfect for Christmas morning.
Oh, the battle of the fizz. This is going to be a tough one. There's lots of
to me, you know.
Too. I never knew that about
too complex. Yeah, you could mix it with orange if you wanted to, but I think the Prosecco goes better with the orange because the sweetness and the acidity better.
Yeah, there was lots of love for Bucks Fizz in the comments. I think Rob and a few others, and I think I saw a couple of mentions of mimosas, which is my favourite. Okay, so who's it going to be? Is it going to be Ray with his Prosecco or Matt with the Cremant?
Come on, folks, wisely. What have we got? Drum roll.
Oh,
it's close.
Hold it back.
So close. Yeah. Well done, Ray.
No, thank you very much. But, clearly the audience love you, Matt. So I know You've won the crowd over already. So my next
in my hand.
selection is going to have to be very good.
Right, we're 1-1. Oh gosh, I need to keep note of the scores, don't I? That wouldn't be good. Right.
Sorry, Matt will remind you.
Yes, you will. Okie dokie. What's Ray? Why has Ray got a blue hat? Naked blue.
Absolutely.
And Roger, you remember the beer? What have you done with your beer jumper, Matt, from last year?
I've still the Budweiser one. I've still got that. It's my favourite Christmas jumper. I like to mix it up a bit, and I've gone for a slightly different approach this year. I surprisingly haven't had any other beer companies send me free Christmas jumpers this year, which is an outrage.
We need to get some naked Christmas jumpers, don't we? Now,
yeah, as
Laura,
you can see, I'm still using the same one for the past, 10 years or so. So this is my Christmas jumper.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah. So,
righty, let's go on to round 3. And round 3 is the main event. So your Christmas dinner. So the table is laid, the Christmas crackers are out. You've got, well, you might have turkey and all the trimmings. You might have something else. I'd love to know. Please let us know in the chat what you're having for your Christmas lunch this year. So what are you going to be reaching for in your case to get your Christmas dinner going and really wow your guests this year? And let's go back to Matt for this one.
Well, this is a tough one. As you say, it's the main event. You've got to get this right. But luckily, you're in extremely safe hands because you have treated yourself to Naked Wines Christmas selection. So you pretty much can't go wrong, right? So this was a tough decision for me. In the end, I've gone for an absolute favourite, Arabella Winemaker's Reserve. Delicious. There is a reason why Jamie and Stephen DeWet are pretty much Naked's best-selling. Arabella is Naked Wine's best-selling wine, I think, of all time. And here they've created something slightly different, something to lift above the sort of single varietals that you get, the orange label Arabellas. This is a really intriguing blend. So it's actually mostly Petit Verdot, which is pretty unusual in South Africa. And it's got that really deep, dark fruit that's just so Moorish. But then it's got this lift of Pinotage, which is authentically South African. Pinotage really is a great, really only grown in South Africa, but it's got nice acidity to balance, and then it's got some lovely leafy Cabernet and Merlot fruit. So there really is something for everyone in here. It's juicy, it's Moorish, but it's also really versatile, and that's the thing that you want with Christmas dinner. You might have you usually got quite a wide selection of things on your plates, and from vegetables, meats. You might need to match something with white meat, red meat. This really will go with everything, and it's just got nice, soft, supple, dark fruits. Absolute crowd pleaser, absolute banker. You can't go wrong. Go for it.
Do you know what? That's probably my favourite, my house red. So it's going to be a tough one.
I am going to go for it.
Just before we go on to you, Ray, I can't get over the variety of Christmas dinners that everyone's having this year. So Roger's having a 3-bird roast called a turducken. I get it. Turkey duck. Pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. Team Louis is having rabbit instead of turkey and has asked what wine we recommend. Oh, we'll keep that one in mind for the Q&A.
Just the thing for you.
Oh, there we go. Oh, the perfect segue onto Ray.
Wouldn't happen to be the next choice, would it?
Rabbit, you say?
Honestly, what would you recommend?
Beef Wellington, Matthew and Devon, delicious.
Yum.
Shall I kick off?
Go for it, Ray.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, when I have rabbit, there's only one thing that I reach for. Also, it applies to the same as turkey, beef Wellington, many, many things. It is so versatile. It is probably the #1 selling Sauvignon Blanc on Naked Wines, and that is Small and Small Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough in New Zealand. This goes right back to the very beginning. It's probably the first wine that Naked imported from New Zealand, and Bill and Claudia have been with us ever since. But bring it back to the big day itself. Well, this is more of a sort of it's like a landing pad. So when you're fussing about the kitchen and you're Clive's on the sprouts, and it was Roger who was having the rabbit, and everyone's sort of busy about doing their things. You need something cold and crisp and refreshing. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, the #1 selling white wine in the UK, not just at Naked Wines. This is the most versatile, crisp, and electrifying, zesty white wine. So what I mean to say, it's salivating, it gets the juices going, and then you sit down and you have to think of all these things, all these elements that are on the plate, the cranberry sauce, the pigs in blanket, all these different things that take over the plain white meat of turkey, for example. And only one thing can stand up to such, such gustation and decadent indulgence, and that is Bill and Claudia's Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. This is small and small Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. There is no better choice. Go small or go home.
Lots of love, Matthew, saying, I'm looking forward to trying the small and small Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. Simon gifted it to his mum, and she's a big Sauvignon Blanc fan. What a great gift.
Yes.
Simon,
you'll be seeing it again on Christmas Day on the table. So
no, I think this is going to be a tight one. Lots of love for both of these wines. So right, let's get the vote going.
Yeah.
Who's the Christmas dinner winner? Is it going to be Matt with the Arabella Winemakers Reserve, or Ray with his small and small?
This is our best-selling red and our best-selling white up against each other on Christmas Day. This is the people's choice. This is like sports
battle of the Titans, isn't it?
Yeah. Here we go. What is it going to be? We have a lot to learn from the result of this. I think it's going to be a tie. I'm betting on a tie.
Imagine. Have we ever had a tie? I think we've been very close. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah. Oof. 50 to it's close to a tie, but you just pipped me.
52-48. We've seen those numbers before. That is very close.
Yeah.
And well, thank you. We will tell Bill and Claudia, and we won't tell Jamie and Stephen. And no, we will. We'll tell them that we shared.
I think they'll be very happy. To be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. It's telling, isn't it? The success, the strength, the love, and the following for both of these wines is yeah, that's great. Kate, do we still have you? We might have.
Oh my gosh!
We had a little bit of a screen freeze there, but
am I still here?
You're in and out.
Gosh, I hope it wasn't an unflattering angle.
No,
can you hear me? Can you see me?
We can hear you, and we can still see you as you were about 10 seconds ago. But no, you're back.
There you go. You've moved.
Oh goodness!
No, it's great.
Right.
Okay. Everyone's enjoying.
I'm back.
You might be losing connection. So, Kate, if you are refreshing, anything like that, Matt, I have a question for you, and actually for everyone, and maybe you could just let us all know in the chat. But I was just driving.
I can just imagine me freezing in a really unflattering angle.
Okay, I think Kate's going to be jumping in and out of the chat here as she sorts out her Wi-Fi. But Matt, tell me quickly, what is your favorite Christmas song? We all know our least favorite, but what's your favorite Christmas?
I'm embarrassed to say, but I absolutely adore this song, but it's a really guilty pleasure of mine. My family absolutely hate this, and they rib me about it every Christmas. No, it's Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea.
Me too.
Not joking. No.
I swear, that's my favorite Christmas song. I promise. I love it.
It's very comforting, and occasionally, and I used to, back in a old past life, I used to be a manager of a store of majestic wine. That's how I started in the wine trade, and invariably we'd have a massively busy day on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
I'd lock up my store quite late, and I would literally drive home for Christmas with Chris Rea on, Driving Home for Christmas. And magical.
I'm in the same camp. I love it. Nothing says, because I am an immigrant and part of the Irish diaspora spread all over, and all the Irish coming back to Dublin is a very special feeling. So that's my favorite. And then, of course, I have to give nod to Fairy Tale of New York and the passing.
Very timely.
And that really wraps it up. Kate, while we have you, I think we have you. You're blinking, so that means you're live. Do you have a favorite Christmas song?
Favorite song, Kate?
Oh, goodness. Do you know what? Someone just said it in the chat. Christmas wrapping. I love that one. I'm not going to try and recite it, though.
Can you sing it?
Yeah.
If you start,
we'll join in. Yeah.
I've seen some great...
Maybe after another class. We'll see.
Great choices in the chat. East 17, Stay Another Day. That's another classic.
Oh, that's a classic.
And my kids both love Wham. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Wham
wow.
video, the
Can't
Wham
get-
video does it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And do you
where
know what
were
I've
we? Oh,
the
sorry.
minute the Bublé Christmas album. That's the one. It's not Christmas without a bit of Bublé.
With about a bit of
Okay,
Bublé.
so shall we go on to round number 4, or shall we do a cheeky additional poll? Should we do a cheeky extra poll?
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah. Didn't see this
Okay.
one coming.
Given that we're still technically on Christmas Day, what are you going to be having for Christmas dinner this year? There's so much in the chat. We haven't got enough
We need
options
rabbit.
to go for.
You need
We
to-
need
Yeah, we
rabbit.
need another 6.
Roast. We need. I saw Inez was having salted codfish. Rhonda's having barbecue steak. So if you've got anything that's not covered here that you'd like some recommendations for, pop it in the Q&A section, and then at the end we'll delve into the boxes and.
I tell you what,
pick
in
you
your
some
salted
nice
codfish, the stream is great, and you might be Portuguese, but the small Sauvignon Blanc with salted codfish would be absolutely delicious.
It's all right. You've already won that round, right?
Yeah.
So it's done. Don't need to anymore.
Fries.
There we go. Turkey's a unanimous choice again, but I do think we need to broaden these a little bit.
Yeah.
In the future.
Actually, we might even provide inspiration. We've learned a lot from the rabbit suggestion, so we can add
that's a really interesting choice. Actually, Ray, what else would you drink with rabbit while we're on it? I mean, obviously, small and small, excellent choice. But now that you've won that round, is there anything that you might choose that might be different to small and small?
From this case, I think actually, I'm not sure if you have this coming up, Matt, but just something that has, rabbit, it can be quite strong, but you want something that sort of rounds
the texture.
The texture. So this is Dom's Terra Bianca. As a first choice. Yeah. So there we are. Kate, back to you in the studio.
Do you have me back? Do you have me back? Am I here?
We have you back.
I'm not sure if you've got me or not. So, fantastic. So let's move on now to round 4. And round 4, it's a good one. So it's the King's Speech. So I'm keen to know, when you've finished the washing up, you settle down to watch the King's Speech this year, what drop are you going to be popping open to raise a glass? And goodness, I've forgotten who went first last time. I'll leave it up to you who goes first on this one.
I think it's Ray's turn. Is this the first year of the King's Speech?
Yeah.
As a current. As a crowned king, right?
Yes.
No, as crowned, yeah. Well, that's the Irishman. I'll just get mixed up. Yeah.
Yes. Asking the Irishman. Yeah.
But I'm going for gin here, and it's just it's coming back to I think although I was proven wrong by the poll, and everyone thinks that it doesn't matter what time you drink gin, earlier the better. But I would select the gin here. More of a nod from Charles to the Queen Mother. She was a big drinker. She was a Dubonnet drinker as well, but I think she mixed them. And I think around 3 o'clock, you've sort of it's where you can sort of measure. You've got to sort of accelerate, reverse, slow down, and you're sort of in control middle of the day. Have I had too much Prosecco? Have I had too much New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc? And the minute of gin, you just sort of level her. It's a palate cleanser, and then you can decide, okay, it's time to go again. And then you start opening more presents. That's what we do. We open our presents very late, actually, and I don't know why, but and so I think a gin as a refresher, a palate cleanser. That's what I present, and I think Matt, you've already talked about the virtues of the gin. It's excellent, and Stefan is what you call that, the OG gin.
OG.
He's the original gin maker for Nakeds, and so a lot of love and a lot of respect for this gin. So that's it. I would go King's Speech, glass of gin, raise a toast to herself, the Queen Mother, and hats off to Charlie and all his environmental virtues. Wow, that's really going to win the audience. But anyway, there we go. It's from the heart.
Excellent brand. Dutchy Originals. Yeah. Well, that's a tough one to follow, right? Let's find what I've got in my box left over. Now, someone's already mentioned it in the chat. Good for you. I've got at least one vote here. my choice is Quevedo Ruby port in your case. And if you're not so familiar with port, Ruby is just hitting the absolute sweet spot. So this is a younger style of port. It's much fruitier. If you sort of like wine, but you want to venture into port, it's sort of like the gateway port into port. It's young, it's more primary fruit, it's really vibrant, which makes it super versatile. So this would actually be this perfect with the cheese course at the end of your meal. Then you can keep drinking it even through the Christmas pud or a chocolate log. It would stand up to it brilliantly. And then you're in the kitchen, you're washing up, you've packed away the dishes, top your glass up with a little bit of this luxurious sweet goodness and collapse on the sofa and listen to Charlie's speech, or stand if you want to attention in the living room with a little glass of port. But either way, Charlie would be proud. This is what he will be drinking slightly off camera when he's delivering his speech. Oscar's Ruby Port.
Oh,
Willie.
I know who my money's on for this one, but there's lots and lots of love in the chat for the port, but also Helen has shared that her partner Carl has been tempted now. He's gone and opened the gin, so good for him. Let us see
Right
what
now,
he thinks.
good for you.
Test run.
I'm gonna
Right,
double check
so
the
who's
Ruby Port.
the winner for the King's speech? Is it going to be Ray with the gin or Matt with the port?
Oh, that Ruby Port just smells so great.
That's a really good, this one, yeah.
Oh,
Takes it away.
fantastic. Oh, do you know what this means? It means it's 2-2. So this last round is going to be the
nail biter.
Right. So please, for the next round, this is my favourite round, you know. So the fifth and final round is going to be Boxing Day. So for me, I don't know about you all in the chat, but I live for the food on Boxing Day. I prefer it to the Christmas dinner. I love like the bubble and squeak, maybe a bit of turkey curry, lots of lovely leftovers, cold meats, cheeses. So all of that food, it probably I'm not really sure what is the wine that you will pair with it all. So what are you going to be drinking on Boxing Day with all of your lovely leftovers? And let's go. I'll leave it to you guys again about who goes first on this one. Who's feeling brave?
Oh, I'm feeling very brave. I'm feeling pumped after the last round. So come with me, guys. All right. As you've just described there, Boxing Day is all about leftovers. It's all about maybe going for a lovely walk, getting some fresh air out in the cold, blustery countryside, maybe stop in a local pub for a quick pint, cheeky pint, and then get home and lay out all of that lovely food that you've been binging on for the last at least day. We put stuff that we've eaten on Christmas Eve out on the table, cheeses, cold meats, turkey, everything. What on earth do you serve with that array of stuff? And it's all quite often cold. So what I generally opt for a white wine, something that's fresh and delicious. It's just going to pep you up. Nothing too challenging, nothing that you have to think twice about, but something that's going to really deliver. And Virgile Joly's Bourret really delivers. This is like an absolute go-to in our house. The Bourret is a relatively unknown grape variety from the Languedoc. So if you've actually got mates over on Boxing Day and you want to maybe show them something that they've never heard of, maybe even impress them a little bit, but give them something that's not too challenging, go for this. But it's fresh and delicious. It's so versatile. It will go with everything on that sort of cold table. Meats, cheeses, absolutely everything. And it's just delicious.
Oh, that's going to freshen up the old taste bud. Go for it, Ray.
Well, I do think Matt's wine is delicious, but not as delicious as Christian Patat, Appassimento, the box wine. This is, I mean, it was made for Boxing Day. No pun intended, but it is made for the ease of access, there's the flavor, and then there's the convenience. The convenience You sit it on the side. You might have people over, one or two dropping in, and they just help themselves. Who doesn't like self pour from a tap? It's like a free bar, and you just go, and then you can moderate, and you go, right, Uncle Jeff, you've had enough, and then you sort of you take it away off the table, you hide it for a while. But it's so that's the convenience of it. Also, you could have had a sneaky glass on Christmas Eve wrapping presents, and then you come back to it 2 days later and it's still drinking perfectly. But the flavor of this, I mean, this is 97, 98% rated. Buy it again. But for Boxing Day, all those cold meats left over, especially ham sandwiches with mustard and white bread, you know, that cheap white bread, and a passamento, that is indulgence in one. So, you know, I'm sorry, it's mic drop. I do love Boré, but this is the wine for Boxing Day, made for it. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, made for it.
What a serving suggestion. Cheap white bread. And
I've already boxes. So Chris, Faldesy, Inez, Sue have already finished the Appassimento box. So does that mean you're going to vote for it? Or does it mean you're going to go for the Boré on Boxing Day?
Order it. Vote for the Boré and order another box.
Oh, there you go. I was also really tickled because Clive said in the chat that on Boxing Day he drinks the wine, the leftover wine from the day before, and then Michael said, "What's leftover wine from the day before?" Which really tickled me. So
yes, doesn't generally happen on Christmas Day, does it?
Right.
Well, family feuds are made of.
Yeah.
So who's going to be our winner? Ray. With 66% of the vote.
There we
I
go.
tell you what, that Christian Patat's a hard man to beat, isn't he? Especially.
We have our winner. Well done, Ray. And Matt.
Congratulations, Ray.
Thank you. But really, I am a big fan of Virgil's Boré and most like Virgil's Rosé, and they are good, refreshing options all through the holidays. Also available. Yeah. Great. So, Kate, where to from here? Any questions?
We've got 5 minutes left. So let's do a few Q&As, shall we? I think we've got a few in the box already, but please do, if you've got any burning festive wine questions, if you want to know anything about some of the wines in the box that perhaps we didn't cover this evening, please pop them in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer a few. So let's get cracking with, sticking on the theme of Boxing Day, Stephen and Nicole have asked which wine in the box is best with a curry.
Which wine in this box is best with a curry? Yeah, of course, it depends on the type of curry, but lots of people say, you know, usually in white wine, quite aromatic wine. So people talk about Riesling or Gewürztraminer. So in this instance, from the box, you might go Sauvignon Blanc, but if you're having
maybe Chenin,
you order Chenin.
There's a common Chenin.
Dom's Terra Bianca is soft. It doesn't have the acidity. So if you're having Korma, creamy, you don't want something with, you know, crisp acidity like Sauvignon Blanc. You just want something more rounded. In red wine, what do you think, Matt?
I think something with a little bit of sweetness in it, like the Appassimento, actually, in the box wine, that would be brilliant. So, or the Orfica, something that's gutsy and got lots of fruit in it, and that can handle the spice. Red wine's actually the more challenging one, but as long as there's a little bit, maybe, of ripe fruit sweetness in there, it would go well.
Yeah. If you're going for jalfrezi, if you're going for a tomato-based dish, go for the Orfica. If you're going for a lighter dish, go on the white sides. Yeah.
Fantastic. An interesting one here. So Stephen asked, how should we store port? So I never know this. How long, once you've opened a bottle of port, does it stay drinkable for?
No, I mean, it's a wine, but it's fortified wine, so it's a higher ABV. The alcohol is a preservative, but it's not going to last. You know, lots of people like maybe crack open the bottle of port one Christmas, put it in the back of the cupboard, forget about it, bring it out the next year and have a terrible experience. It is a wine, but I think it'll last 2 to 3 weeks in the bottle with that amount of alcohol. It'd be pretty good. Depends. The ruby port is all about fruit, so it will actually oxidize, go not so good a bit quicker. Tawny styles of port will last a bit longer. So that's if it's open. If it's not open, it will age very, very well, generally, port. Yeah.
Great. Ooh. And maybe let's go on to the cheese, but not port. So what would be your pick for a cheese board that isn't the port? And there's also another question about specifically what would be good with blue cheese. So can't go wrong with a bit
Not
of
port.
cheese.
So you've got Galladoro Reserva is, it's a sort of a nice roundness. It has, because the cheese is going to go on different levels of hard cheese, soft cheese, and salty, and varying levels. Galladoro Reserva is just, it has great drinkability. It's just, it demands another glass, and I think it goes really well with all of them. Blue cheese, the ideal for blue cheese is very sweet wine. Like Sauterne or something like that. That's really good with blue cheese. But otherwise, I think the Galladoro will be a good all-rounder. It doesn't have spiky acidity. It's just sort of just yummy, very yummy.
Yum. Right, let's squeeze in a couple more. I saw someone in the chat, Sue, asked her about a good wine for vegan dinners. Sue, yeah. I don't know if there are any, I guess it varies depending on the what vegan dinner it is, but anything in particular that jumps out?
Yeah. So, I mean, check the wine is suitable for vegans. An awful lot of our wines are, and then it really just depends what you're eating. Just think about the sort of colours of the food that you're eating in general. So if it's mushrooms and aubergines and those sort of dark, earthy things, then go for a nice rich red. As the sorts of things that we've been unfairly recommending purely for meat up until now. But mushrooms and things like that would go brilliantly with the Orfica Monastrell. Again, the Benz Minervois, things like that. And then if you're talking about lighter things, then opt for a white wine that's going to be fresh with those sorts of flavors.
Great.
That's it. Yep.
Let's squeeze in one more quick question, because I think it's a great one and I'd love to know the answer from both of you. What would be your ultimate, your best wine in the box, in the entire box? If you could pick one, what would it be?
Oh, that's like picking your favorite child. He's gone for quantity and quality.
I think this wine is I think it's just everything, the convenience, the quality, the consistency. This wine, since it came in, it has knocked it out of the park, and everyone who tries it loves it. So this is really a fantastic wine.
I'm going to go for Virgil's Bourret. I mean, this is just like I drink this. It's a really good everyday wine. It's such good value for money. It's like one of the best. Every time I show this to we show this to a wine journalist, or just other colleagues in other parts of the trade, they're just blown away by the quality of this, and I just think it's something a bit different, just delicious.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And everyone, please do let us know as you drink all of the lovely wines in your box over Christmas. It means the world to our winemakers if you hop online and rate it, review it, leave them a little message. They genuinely read all of them, and so please always hop on and give it a good rating. But I think that's it for this evening. Just we'll be sharing a recording of this whole session if you want to watch it back, along with a few extra tips of some of the wines in your box. So if there are any questions that we didn't get around to answering, we'll try and answer a few of those in that email that you'll be receiving on Friday. But I think that's it. Well done, Ray. Congrats.
It's been a lot of fun. Well done. Congrats, Ray.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yes, thank you, everyone. It was great fun. Thank you, everyone, for participating and joining in the chat. Good fun.
Thank you, everyone. It's a great chat, and I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye-bye.